Hello, hello. I will shut off the music. We are done with that. Hello, welcome to Module 2 of the Pleasure Principle. We are here to talk about the intimacy factor, and I'm so excited that you're here. I am going to make sure I have everything figured out. So we have live streaming to Facebook. We are on Zoom. We've got all kinds of gorgeous places we can meet. Hello. So a little housekeeping before we begin. Hi, I'm Catherine Pfeiffer. I am a leadership and intimacy coach, and I am so excited to do this mini program with you. So we have a 3-module mini program all about pleasure, the pleasure principle. And the last time we met, we talked about business and pleasure. So how to infuse pleasure into your business, how to really light you up, create a foundation of just a juicy, connected place for you to be and for you to land. Today, we are going to talk about intimacy. Then tomorrow evening, we're going to meet at 6 p.m. So Thursday, December 14th, we are going to meet at 6 p.m. and we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate 2022. And we are going to talk about how to create the most beautiful masterpiece of your life. So today, I'm so excited to talk about this stuff. This is the heady stuff of our conversation. The last stuff was pretty heady too, but this is like the real heady stuff. And so if you can, grab yourself some paper because you might want it. You don't have to have it. I'm going to be, if you are signed up for this program, you will receive a little packet. You're going to receive a workbook, and it's going to have this on there. But if you want to do this today, go ahead and grab yourself some paper. I'm going to take a sip of water. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so before we begin, I feel like we could use a little grounding. So let's all take a moment. If you are not driving, don't do this if you're driving. Keep your eyes open if you're driving. But if you are not driving and you're able to, take a moment and let's all ground our feet on the floor, sit upright, and let's close our eyes if you feel comfortable, and take in a deep breath. Breathe in clean energy, release any stale energy that might be lingering in your body. Taking another deep breath. Clean energy in, stale energy out. We are all connected over time, space, whether you're listening to this as a replay sometime in the future, or you're listening to this right now. Feel your feet super grounded to the floor. And if you can, if you're able, see if you can feel any heat in your hands. Maybe you'll hold your hands palms up and then palms facing, and pull them together without touching, and see if you can create heat between your hands, maybe a little ball. You can open your eyes and look at my hands if you like, but maybe like right there, see if you can feel a ball of energy between your hands, and see if you can grow it. Grow it a little bit more. Hold it in your hands for just a minute, and then I'd like for you to blow on it, release it, let it into the universe. This is your energy impacting the world. Taking another deep breath. in through your nose. And release through your mouth. And feel free to open your eyes. And welcome. Welcome to Module 2 of the Pleasure Principle. Today we are talking about the intimacy factor. So I have decided, deemed myself an intimacy and leadership coach. Leadership and intimacy and leadership. And as I was explaining last time through the live stream, I think this is the part that did not get recorded. It took me a while to get here, and it took me a while to figure out what all of that meant. And for me, intimacy is not just the connection or the relationship with a partner, like a lover. Intimacy spans all throughout our relationships. So the definition of intimacy is to see one another, to really see one another. And I think that we can do that not only with our lovers, we can see each other, but with our clients, our employees, our children, our friends. And our intimacy is, and also ourselves. Let's not forget that. And ourselves. And our intimacy with these people can be deep, or it can be fleeting. So I was thinking about this the other day. So my family and I went to London, and we went over Thanksgiving, and it was such a great trip. It was so fast. It was beautiful. There's so many things I could tell you about it, but this is a piece of the intimacy factor that I thought was really powerful. And I've had this happen to me a few times in my life. So we were on this walking tour. It was an amazing walking tour. It was by this company called Free Tours by Foot. So if you go to YouTube and you research Free Tours by Foot London, the woman who does those YouTube videos, and there's like thousands and thousands and thousands of views, that lady was our guide. And it was so cool. They're actually free tours, and then you end up at the end, if you've had a great time, you tip them. So of course it's amazing. We tipped the lady. But on our tour was this walking tour of this one area of London. We went by Parliament, and there was a huge crowd of people protesting, and they were protesting what was happening in Iran. And it was a really kind of like, they were yelling, but there wasn't anything violent happening. And there was a lot of police around and everything like that. So it was a very safe place for us to be. But we walked up to right next to the protesters. So let's say the protesters are over here, and we're right here at the stoplight to walk across the street. And there was a man, and he was smoking a cigarette, and he was angry. He was so fired up. And he and I made eye contact. And there was so much passion in his eyes and so much fire in his eyes. And I just met his gaze. And we had this moment of feeling transfer between us. I was receiving his feelings. I was like, this is just an interesting tour. And I'm really like, thinking this is a really interesting tour of all of England. And then over here, I'm thinking all the stuff that's happening in Iran. And how do I explain this to my children? Because they're asking questions. So, and then also my own feelings about it, like my own feelings about what's going on, because it's right there. And I'm thinking about it right in the moment, and all this stuff is happening. And we have this moment. And I thought about it later, and I thought, geez, that was really a moment of intimacy between me and this stranger. I'll never see him again. No idea what his name is. Don't know where he lives. Nor do I need to, but it was an intimate moment. And when you think about it, we have moments like that in our lives. We have moments where we meet someone's gaze and there's a moment, or we have a conversation with someone, or we have multiple conversations with someone, or we're leading someone, or we're having intimacy with our children because we have that connection, or with our friends, or with our lovers or our partners. And I really believe that when you are a leader, when you are a leader of the new paradigm, you are invited to work on your intimacy with yourself and with others every single day. And that work can be great, and that work can be really hard. So I think that leadership is more than Neffy sees me. Neffy's my cat. She's like, who are you talking to? It's really cute. I wonder if she'll come over. She can come say hi and talk to us. But I think leadership is more than just saying I'm a leader. There's plenty of people out there who call themselves leadership coaches, but they may be making lots of money, and they may be running a company that they've been running for a few years. But when you look at it and you watch their actions and you watch when things are not going well, you watch them and you see, are they really someone who can hold that title? Are they really someone who can call themselves that and that I can buy into? I mean, they can call themselves whatever they want. It's a free world, really. But am I going to buy into their integrity by their actions or not? And we have that opportunity every single day to make that decision. So whether you are running a company on your own and you are the CEO, or you are a leader inside of a company. And when I say leader, I'm not just saying the title of leadership, because you could be a therapist working on a mental health unit and be a leader, or you could be a teacher at a school and be a leader. The role of leadership, the title of leadership, is up to you. If you have like the credentials, that's great too, but this is really about the concept of you being the leader of your work and the leader of your life. And you are either that or you're not. And there's a new paradigm out there of leadership. And it's not necessarily for the faint of heart. It's not necessarily for, people who just want to go out there and say, sure, follow me, follow the leader. It's not just about that. So I believe when you decide you're going to be a leader, like you're really going to be a leader, this is your invitation to go deeper and deeper into yourself and into your relationships. And it's an opportunity for you to heal again and again. It's an opportunity for you to understand how you fit into the world, both your world and the greater world. And it's an opportunity to really understand your own mission and the relationship to the mission of your work, your soul's mission and your work's mission. So your company's mission, if you run your own company, that could be one thing. Your company's mission, if you work for somebody else, and their mission could be something different. And your soul mission could be something else. Feel free to pop in any questions at all in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. So, like I said a little while ago, the definition of intimacy is to be seen. So we have intimacy with ourselves, seeing ourselves, understanding ourselves, and we have intimacy with other people. And yesterday I posted, I don't know if you saw it or not, I posted it in the Maven group and I posted it on Instagram. I think I posted it on Facebook too. This concept of an intimacy spectrum. And so on one end of the spectrum is people that you don't even know, strangers. And then it kind of like grows into like, okay, we've got strangers over here, and then people maybe we follow on the internet, and then we've got acquaintances, we've got maybe colleagues that we know by happenstance, social media, all the people in social media kind of over by the stranger side of things. And then we've got like friends and clients and employees and people who work for us, maybe they're contractors, and then we have like even closer friends and family, of however we deem what our family is. And then we have close family, we have children somewhere in there, we have lovers, partners, best friends over here on this side of the spectrum. And that was one spectrum I wanted to talk about. You can kind of imagine what it's about. She's really like, Neffy is just like having a little bit of a meltdown. She's like, I don't know who she's talking to. So anyway, so that's one way to look at it. I have a second way for you to look at it too. So if you get your piece of paper out, I'd like for you to draw a circle on it in the middle of a piece of paper and put a little person, maybe a little stick figure, like this guy. So you have a circle, and then feel free to do circles around it. I've got the middle circle, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. So take a minute and do that if you'd like. 5 layers. Okay. Okay, so that's you right there. You can write me. Yeah, right here. And then in the next layer, I want you to write out names of people who you might feel are really close to you. So that might be your lover or your partner, your children, if you feel like that, your best friends, like people who are super duper close to you, the closest that they can get to you without being you. So that's the first layer right here. And then the second layer, and really just jot down their names there. The next layer is like your friends and family, people who are like not the closest to you. They're just one step out, right there. Right there. And then the third one is maybe other family, clients, employees, if you want to put them there. They don't have to go there. Their employees can go on the next one. Friends, people you have meaningful conversations with, but they're not like in that deep inner circle. So that's other family, clients, and friends is that one. The next one is people you don't know very well. So that's this outer layer one, not the final extra outer, but this next to the last one. Yeah, that one. So people you don't know too well, community members, either online or in person. So these are people who, if you're like me and you're a business owner, these are people who follow you online but haven't bought from you yet. They haven't invested in your services, but they follow you pretty religiously or thoughtfully. maybe religiously is not the right word. So that's like just community, social media community members or community members, maybe people who, you know, that you are aware of that are active in your community. And then the last layer is people that follow you online that you don't know, or maybe people that you follow that you don't know. Maybe it's like celebrities you follow online that you really like, or authors that you really like, or thought leaders that you really like you've read their books and you know a bit about them. Like I would think that for me, like Gabby Bernstein would be up here, or she might be a little bit closer because I have been a community member, so we might be mutually in there, but probably Gabby Bernstein back here, Denise Dupfield Thomas for me back here, because she doesn't know me. Even though I've bought programs from her and I've read her books, she doesn't know who I am. So I'm really like out here. Okay. And then outside is everyone else. This is like the rest of the 8 billion people in the world, right? Okay. So when you look at this can give you a great graphic of your intimacy, who you're intimate with, and the layers of intimacy that you can go in. You're this guy, you're like, your goal is to be the most intimate with yourself over everyone else in the world. And I'm going to explain that in just a minute. And then more intimate, you know, this is the next layer, and then this is layer. And somewhere through here, there's some boundaries, right? So you're not going to, I mean, to be a healthy and in a healthy relationship, you're probably not going to tell people that you see, but you don't, like your online community. Also in this layer, you could do people that you, this one right here, people you see, but you don't know well. That could be like people at the grocery store that you check out through their lane every time. So you know their name, but you don't know anything about them. You don't know like where they live. You don't know much about their lives. You know, you just talk to each other as you're walking through their line. Or like somebody at a coffee shop or something like that serves you coffee every morning. So you're probably not going to share like really deep, intimate things about yourself to the coffee shop girl, but you might with your best friend or your lover, and sometimes your children. And you know, when you're thinking about in terms of your community too, in terms of your boundaries, some of these people might not be invited to come into here. They might just need to live out here. So I really like this as a way of just kind of figuring out who's welcome into your heart and who needs to be out here. And you can always move people that are here out to here. You mean, I don't want you in my inner circle anymore. You have to go. You're not healthy for me, or our relationship is toxic and you've got to, I know a lot about you, but that doesn't mean that's forever. So I'm going to put you out here. I'm going to still know you. I'm going to still like you, but you can go to the community members or whatever, right? And sometimes clients do that with me. So I'll have clients who will come into my life for a period of time. We'll have a very deep and intimate relationship, not intimate in a physical way, but intimate in an emotional way. And then we'll be done. And they will have been here. But over time, maybe they move to here because we're not on the journey together anymore. We're not walking that path together anymore. And maybe they'll pop back in here. Maybe they'll pop back out here. Just kind of is a flow. It's not always set in stone. But this is an idea for you to look at for your intimacy circle when you're thinking about where everyone fits in and how it works, because it's a very complicated way of looking at things. So we have intimacy with ourselves and we have intimacy with other people, and there are layers and there's a spectrum. So if you just kind of in your brain, I know this is a lot, but in your brain think, okay, there's an intimacy spectrum where perhaps people fit along that spectrum somewhere, but there's also like layers of ability to invite people in. This is a really great analogy. I've shared this a lot in the past. My mom actually shared it with me. I think she read it in the Ilana Van Zant book, but there are certain people, if you think of yourself as like a house, and it goes further and deeper into this, but you're the house, and there's some people who are welcome through the front door. They're actually welcome into the bedroom. They're welcome to come all the way upstairs to your bedroom or wherever your bedroom is. And then there's some people who are welcome to just come into the front door. And then there are some people who are welcome to come up to the front door, but not inside. And then there are people who are welcome to come up to the gate. And then there are people who are welcome to come up to the mailbox. And that's it. They're not welcome to come up to there. So for just a minute, I gotta go get something really quick. For just a minute, I want you to think about this, circling this, all of this. And I want you to think about who's welcome in your bedroom, who's welcome through the front door, and then maybe downstairs, maybe in the living, like the welcome spaces in your kitchen. Who's welcome to just meet you at the door, and who's welcome to come up to the front gate, who's welcome to be at the mailbox. I want you to think about that for just a minute. I have to go grab something. I'll be right back. Okay, so I hope that was helpful and it gave you a lot of good ideas. Okay, so as a leader, I believe that your most powerful moves are when you know yourself, when you know yourself the best, and then you know the people who you connect with, the people that you lead, and the people that are meant to be in your world. So for you first, then everyone else. And I believe that when you are able to create a safe space for yourself to lead, for yourself to be intimate with yourself first, and then for you to be able to be intimate with other people, that's the best way to be a leader. So how do you do that? How do you know yourself really, really well? How do you know how to heal yourself so that you can show up and be really powerful? Well, there's lots of ways to do that. I really believe that we often have lessons that come up again and again that we learn until we figure it out. And sometimes it feels like we're hitting our heads against a brick wall. And we're like, why does this keep happening? Why does this pattern keep coming up in my life? Why do I have to keep facing this? Why is this something I have to keep dealing with? And that is an opportunity to heal. That is an opportunity to dive deeper into who we are, why we were here, and what the lesson is, so that we can lead and support other people to do the same thing, for them to figure out their patterns. And sometimes in our leadership, it's all about sharing the stories so that we can support other people to work through their own stories. So often online, I'll share about having Crohn's disease, or I'll share about something I'm thinking about, or I'll share about an experience I've had. And the reason why I do that is not to tell people what to do. It's just to say, hey, this is what I've gone through. And if this ignites something in you, if this opens something up for you, that's really powerful. And it helps you get clarity, and it helps you figure out what the lesson is for you. Not everybody's going to deal with Crohn's disease the way that I did, and I have. But if my story ignites in someone else to be like, I can see it a different way, and that's helpful, then that's leadership. So when you're thinking about, okay, I want to figure this out for myself, follow the nudges. So for me, one of the things that I've realized, for me, I really wanted to figure out my relationship with money. And I will teach about it in the future, probably next year. No, I am going to teach about it, not probably. I will be teaching about it next year. It's in the plans. But I had to figure all of that stuff out, and I invested in programs and I've read maybe every book out there about money. I'm not sure, but I've read a lot of books about money out there. I've not read all of them because there's some people I don't really, I don't agree with their way of thinking, and I don't align with their way of thinking. But I have read a lot of books about money and relationship with money, and I have done a lot of work around it. And I needed to figure it out for myself before I ever talked about it with anyone else. And there was some stuff that I really wanted to heal because I was motivated to be what I considered a successful business owner. In order for my business to be a business and not a hobby, it had to make money. And that's really intense. And I wanted to figure it out. And I wanted to figure out what was getting in my way, what was keeping me from creating the finances that I desired. And there is lots that I still work through every day, because that's one of the things that I've had to really heal. And same thing around relationships and community and parenting, all of those things. So my advice to you when you're wondering, well, how do I heal this, or how do I figure this out, is follow the nudges. Follow what lights you up. Follow what you're like, ooh, that feels really juicy, and I want to dive into that. And that feels really safe too. So in our next module, which will be happening tomorrow, I'm going to share with you what I believe is a wonderful answer to how to heal and how to figure all of this out. But I'm not ready to share it with you yet about it. It's going to be really good though. It's like a master's level experience for your leadership as a woman and a person, if you don't identify as a woman, as a human being. And although the name is woman, so I guess maybe you do have to, there has to be some sort of identification with women and womanness. Unless that doesn't bother you, then you're totally cool. But where was I going with this? It's going to be really powerful, and it's going to be a really, really cool journey, but I'll tell you more about it tomorrow. So I came up with a list of what I believe is the characteristics of an intimate leader, and I'm going to walk you through them. So the first thing is that the intimate leader is willing to deepen her relationship with herself. She's willing to figure out her stuff. She's willing to look at what's coming up. Maybe there's an employee issue that just doesn't seem to get resolved, or maybe there's a client issue that she keeps running up against. Maybe there's something that happened that was really traumatic and she wants to figure it out. She's willing to deepen her relationship with herself and understand her roles in her relationships with others, but also her role in her relationship with her. And she's willing to look at that. And like I said, if the pronoun her does not fit in with your identity, don't use that. Use they, he, whatever works for you. I'm just using her because it works for me. She's willing to heal past hurts, traumas, patterns, and lessons. She's willing to do the deep work to do that. It's scary. It might mean that she has to upend her life. She doesn't want to do that, but she knows that if she wants to fulfill this role as a leader in this new paradigm, that it's up to her to do that. And she doesn't have to do it all at once. And also, it's not it's not something that is done in perfection. It's something that comes up again and again and again. I have lessons that I have a lesson that's coming. I was talking with my mom about this today. I have a lesson that has come up for over 20 years. And I have definitely learned over 20 years how to deal with this lesson, but it was a deeper level of the lesson, a deeper layer of the lesson, a deeper level of the lesson that I had to know and that I had to figure out. And boy, it was a little painful. It was definitely something I didn't have the energy or the like really wanting to deal with it, but it just is what it is, you know? And I know for me, I'm willing to heal whatever it is I need to heal and get clarity on whatever I need to get clarity so that this lesson maybe is just done forever. And then I know I have lifetime lessons. I talked about this in a live stream at some point about I will always come up against this lesson around being good enough. And it's a deep wound for me, but I recognize that and I know that it comes up and I know that I have to do the deeper work every time it comes up. I can't let it sit there. I used to put my head in the sand and pretend like it wasn't there, but that was just bypassing. So the intimate leader shows up and makes a conscious effort to know when she is bypassing and gaslighting herself or others. That is pretty tricky stuff because we live in a culture that has really, really trained us on how to bypass and how to gaslight ourselves and others. It's really funny, I didn't even know what those things were until the past few years, and my kids know what those are because they're popular in culture to talk about. And so one of my boys asked me what gaslighting was, and I kind of explained it as, you remember when you would fall down and you would scrape your knee and I would be like, you're okay. Well, I was gaslighting you because you obviously weren't okay. And I was just helping you, I thought at the time, to be like, yeah, it's okay. It's not like the end of the world. It's not the end of the world scratch. But that was a version of gaslighting. And they were like, both boys were like, oh, I get it now. And so sometimes I'll say something and they'll be like, are you gaslighting us? I think you're gaslighting us. I'll be like, I'm not, I promise I'm not gaslighting you. And it's really cute. And then sometimes I'm like, yeah, that does feel a little gaslighty. Okay, let's not do that anymore. The intimate leader rolls up her sleeves and she gets to work. I've known a lot of leaders in my life, and I've seen leaders who point and say, go do this. And then I'm going to sit back and put my feet up on the table, on the desk. And I've known leaders who are like, this is the project that we've all got to do. Let's get to it. And I have to say, I have a lot more respect for the leaders who roll up their sleeves and get to it with me. That's the kind of leader I want in my life. One that isn't afraid to get a little dirty, one that isn't afraid to get a little messy, get into like the thick of it to help out. Maybe not for the whole time, but for most of it. That's the kind of leader I would want. I don't want a leader who says, well, you know what? I'm going to go shopping while you clean up this mess. I don't have a lot of respect for leaders like that. I've known them. They've been my bosses. The intimate leader addresses issues inside her community and inside her leadership. So I've talked about this recently too, where there were two people that I followed I was up with what was going on in their work and their life, and they both ended up behaving in a way that unfortunately lost my desire to be in their realms. And it made me think about what leaders, and they're both, one is for sure a leader, the other one says she's a leader. And it made me kind of feel like they had lost my respect and my desire to be in their realm, or my desire to further our relationship, because I didn't love how they behaved. And it didn't feel like either one of these people, different circumstances completely, don't even know each other, but how these people had chosen to be in the mess. Because both of the situations that I witnessed of them, they were both in a bit of a mess. And messes are going to happen. Messes are going to come up. We're holding big things in our work and in our lives. And we're not always going to do it perfectly. We're not always going to be able to show up with full integrity. But these were not people that would have received my feedback well, because they don't know me. So I didn't have the opportunity to say, hey, I think this is something you could have thought about. And I just realized that I don't want to be a part of that, but also a cautionary tale of what not to do in the future. And one of those things was, and I've seen this happen a few times on the internet, where someone will make a post, people will not like their post on social media. There will be a backlash, which I'm 100% against. Like, I'm not backlash, the whole cancel culture and sort of the misery that happens when somebody missteps online is really toxic. And I really did, when I saw this, one person that did it, I was like, ugh. And the other person that made the post, these are both people who made posts. These are separate from the other person I was talking about. There's three people. So there's two different people I saw that made different posts that had backlash in the past couple of years. And one person who had this big hoopla and, deal ended up like having quite a stir of people unhappy with her. And same thing with the second girl. And both of them in this instance decided to use their employees as buffers. And I felt like that was probably not the best leadership move, to blame something on your employees, or to have your employees be the buffer during something kind of messy. I don't believe is like the kind of leadership that I want to be involved with. And we all have, things that we can learn. And I'm really all about being authentic and being able to make mistakes. And for both of those people, I wasn't really too worked up with what they were saying. One of them was a little bit more incendiary than the other one, but it was disappointing to see how the situation was handled. And then the other instance that I was talking about, with the other leader who is really actually a leader in her industry. I won't get into. But it's something to think about for you and for me, because a lot of us in this community actually do have online presences. And at some point, we might say something that isn't received well. And my job, honestly, is to teach you how to not do that, how to show up in integrity, really think about what you're putting out in the world. And I feel like that's my job as a coach, is to support you through that. But if there was something that came up as like not really, well received, I think it's a bad idea to have, even if it's you saying it, have you say like, this is blah, blah, blah's employee, assistant, whatever, and this is the response. I just don't feel like that's helpful, because it shows that you're giving away your power. So, but that's something that you have to heal and to learn from and to realize is part of your work. And we have to do that with teams too. We have to do that when we're in connection with other people. When you're thinking about intimacy inside of community with employees or clients or contractors, there is a bit of being able to see them, being able to have a relationship with them that feels grounded and connected and whole, while also holding up boundaries and policies and expectations. And all of that is okay to have. So the conversation can go deeper and deeper, and I hope that it will. So tomorrow we are going to be talking about creating your life as a masterpiece, and I can't wait. But the thing that I want you to walk away from with today is that this is kind of the middle conversation all about intimacy. And I want you to think about, okay, we were talking about how to create this, maybe this gorgeous environment of our business, either in our bodies or in our surroundings, and really like feeling lit up and turned on by our work. And that was module 1. And module 3 is all about creating this beautiful masterpiece of our life and really living this life that feels ignited and feels turned on and feels so good. But today is all about the work, knowing yourself, getting deep within, becoming intimate with yourself so that you can be intimate with other people. And the only way that you can be intimate with yourself is if you see yourself and you're willing to work on the stuff that's not easy to work on. You're willing to heal the stuff that's not easy to heal. That's the intimacy factor. And in order to do all of that and to be in leadership in a way that feels really grounded and connected and powerful, I believe that this is the way to go about it. So there will be homework posted in the Facebook group and in your workbook that will come at the end of this program. And I'm here. I'm here for your work. I'm here for your healing. I'm here for your next level. And I've been hinting at it. I'm not ready to release it yet. I've got a little bit more work to do on the sales page and on some of the other things, but there's something big coming tomorrow. And I hope that you'll come and listen and hear about it, because this has the potential to change the way that you show up in your life and you show up in your work. And like I said, it's a master's level kind of experience. That's going to be good. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., bring champagne or kombucha or a lovely cup of tea. Bring something that feels celebratory for you. Come dressed up if you like. I do need to look and see if there are any questions on either side. I'm not seeing any questions over here. Let's go back. Okay. Let's see over here. Can people move from one level to the other? I think you're meaning on this. And yes, they can be here and go out here. They can be here and go in here. They can jump. They can be here, you know, somebody you don't even know. And then tomorrow they could be like, I want to pay you for you to be my coach. Or I want to work with you, or whatever it is. Or I'm a new employee, you know, and then they're here. And that one, I think. Yeah, they're a client. So yes, they can jump. They don't have to like move through a trajectory of that. It is not, you know, it's just kind of they don't have to like go from level to level or level to level out. It can be from here to there, and yeah, thanks for asking. Okay, so tomorrow 6 p.m. come. It's going to be beautiful. We will be talking about your masterpiece of your life. I can't wait. Okay, I've lost my Zoom. There we go. All right, have a great day. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments in the Facebook group, because I'd be happy to answer any replay questions. Just tag me at Catherine Pfeiffer. And I hope that you have a fabulous afternoon. Sending my love. Oh, I got to do the prize. Oh, the prize. Yes. Forgot about the prize. So today's prize is is access to my Sacred Feminine Rituals. It's $33 on my website. And today somebody's going to get it for free. And also there is an upgrade. If you're doing this program live, you can get the upgrade through the email that I send out if you signed up for this program. And it is $22 and it is fabulous. So I highly recommend that you get it. Okay. Let's see. Names. Jeanette Coe. I think I'm saying your name right. Jeanette, you won. Yay. Tomorrow it's going to be a pretty big, juicy prize. So come back and remember, invite people to this mini program if you're doing it live. And also invite people into the Facebook group or follow on Instagram. Magnificent Mavens is both. Maybe it's just Maven. Try Maven without the S first. It has my face on the picture. I think no, Instagram just says Maven, I think. But I think it might just be Magnificent Maven. Sorry, I'm mumbling. I'm a little kooky sometimes. And silly and not always like fully put together. But invite them to Facebook, the Facebook private Facebook group, the private Instagram, and invite other people in because your name gets put in again, and invite people to this program. All right. Sending my love. Have a great day. Congratulations, Jeanette. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.